to the Netball Complex at Tanteen or connect to the ECCB Connects Facebook page and YouTube channel for live coverage of the matches. It's netball action at its best. Excellence and empowerment through sports. Netball, netball, yes, exciting edge of your seat netball is back. It's the 5th ECCB International Netball Series in the Spice Isle of Grenada, August 23rd to 31st at Tanteen Netball Complex in St. George's. Witness 7 ECCB member countries: Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, Commonwealth of Dominica, Grenada, Montserrat, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines battle for the coveted Gloria Ballantine Championship Trophy. But wait, there's more. The 5th ECCB International Netball Series will also feature visiting teams from Barbados, the Cayman Islands, and Guyana, who will reign supreme at the 5th ECCB International Netball Series. Go on out to the Netball Complex at Tanteen or connect to the ECCB Connects Facebook page.
Good evening and welcome to the Tanteen Sports Complex. It's the final evening of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank International Netball Series, and we should be getting ready for the final set of matches. However, we just had a shower of rain, and that will cause a delay to the previously set 7 o'clock start of these matches. The big one that we're looking forward to, the champions St. Vincent and the Grenadines taking on the home team Grenada. My name is Ricardo Chambers, alongside me Stacey Lake, to take you through this contest as we see the Grenadians going through their warm-up paces. And Stacey, you know conditions better than I do. Maybe we could get about a 7:15 start tonight.
Good evening, and yes, Ricardo, 7:15 would be a good time to call it. By the time these teams are allowed to do their warm-up session and then the umpires inspect the court and get ready to go, we should say just about 7:15 would be good.
Yeah, of course, everyone was looking forward to this being a championship match essentially, but after losing to St. Lucia last night, the Grenadians out of championship contention. In fact, it seems as if they'll likely finish third in the competition unless they can pull off what would now be considered an upset victory over the St. Vincent and the Grenadines team, who have been magnificent this tournament. They're unbeaten. They've won all 8 matches they have contested, and they have been convincing all the way through. Stacey, how do you see this match tonight?
Ricardo, it would definitely take a miracle that has never been seen by the eyes of any man before, for them to win this game. Or rather, for them to win this tournament. They would need to score 100. I think it's about 100 or a little over 100 goals in order to win the competition. So I did declare it last night. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they are the champions. And of course, St. Lucia is poised to take 2nd place, and Grenada is poised to take 3rd place. What I can encourage Grenada to do is to go out and to score as many goals as possible, at least to see if they can improve themselves in terms of the most attacking team.
Yeah, and although the championship title is out of the reach of Grenada, it is great to see the fans coming into the venue, braving the conditions as well. When it started raining, most of them scampered for cover under a couple of the tents here, but they have remained for the contest, and it's very good to see that they continue to support their national team even though they are unable to win the title.
Grenadans are hard-end supporters when it comes on to their sports team, so they would come out and support, whether win or loss, they will support. I did wish we had a greater crowd. I was really looking for this section of the stands to be totally packed, but I also understand today is the last day. Tomorrow school opens, so for many it's like I can stay home and watch this and still support my team, because, you know, we have to do last prep for school.
Yeah, of course, Grenada came into this with high hopes, and especially when you are playing at home, you expect to do well. They've had some disappointing losses, 60 to 68 to Barbados. That was always going to be a tough contest. The ones that will really hurt, I think, the 46-58 defeat to the Cayman Islands when they fell away badly in the final quarter. and the 48-52 loss to St. Lucia last night.
Ricardo, I will be honest. All my predictions for this competition have been spot on, except that St. Lucia game. I don't think a lot of people were paying a lot of attention to St. Lucia. The focus was so much on Grenada, St. Vincent playing this championship match tonight that nobody watched St. Lucia. And I think they just snuck in and did what they had to do. So that was the only one that caught me off guard. And I think that definitely turned the tables for everything that should have been happening tonight.
And I guess the question is now, how will the Grenadians feel about this campaign? What will be the thoughts of the coach, Kathian Gabriel, who continues to lead the line with this Grenadian team?
Well, I am thinking like any sporting organization, there will be a briefing or a meeting. As the coach, she will have to submit her report, and there will be some kind of meeting, and then they will decide, you know, for the next campaign. I think, I'm subject to correction, but I think qualifiers are next year. World Cup qualifiers are next year, so preparations have to get into gear for that. So I don't think the association has a lot of time in which to decide, are they going to continue with Coach Gabriel or are they going to look elsewhere? I know Grenada achieved a higher ranking under other coaches, but of course, it's going to be a case of, do we still stay local, as we discussed before, or do we go overseas to see if we can grasp someone with more experience who will come in but have a positive impact in terms of uplifting the local coaches?
It is always a sore point right across the Caribbean, not just here in Grenada and not just specific to netball, but in so many other sports, including football and cricket, the big ones, where quite often Caribbean teams bring in coaches from overseas, usually with significantly more experience, both playing and coaching. And you know, there is always that conversation, there is always that debate as to whether it is worth it, because of course it comes with greater financial backing, and associations have to dig deeper into their pockets to bring in these foreigners, and sometimes the expectation is that miracles will happen when it takes time. And even if you bring in an international coach with greater quality and more experience, it will still take time, and a team won't miraculously get up the next day and start beating Australia, New Zealand and Jamaica.
It will take time. It is a process. We saw where there was a time Connie Francis was actually in St. Lucia, and it took a while.
Up to last year, actually.
Right, and St. Lucia's program did go up a little bit, and you know, I guess the locals are now the one who are taking charge and doing their stuff, and you can definitely see an improvement over St. Lucia compared to last year. Now we also have where Jamaica, as big and as good as Jamaica is, they at one point many times would have had international coaches come in. I think you can correct me, maybe 2 years ago, a defensive coach.
Yeah, well, they do have
I'm trying to remember his name, that man.
They do have area-specific coaches as part of the current setup. There was a coach, McCracken, who came from England, who was head coach at one point. Didn't go well with the Sunshine Girls. That did not last long, and it did not work out. So by and large, the Jamaicans have tend to go with local coaches as head coach.
Yes, as
but
head
they
coach.
do have area-specific coaches as part of the unit, and those coaches have been tremendous in helping the team to progress. So there's also always that option as well. But if you're bringing in area-specific coaches with a local head coach, you also have to think about, okay, is this really worth it if it's just for a particular area with the local coach still being the head coach, because you're likely going to you're likely going to have to be paying this overseas coach quite a bit,
when most times the local coaches are volunteer. So there could be some clashes there, as well as not forgetting that these international coaches there will be adjustment and there will be culture clashes as it relates to what they're expecting and what is supposed to be the quote-unquote norm of that country. So there are a lot of intricacies when it comes on to having the local coaches versus having the international coaches. But I guess every country just have to look and see what can definitely work for them, because the end goal is that you want your program to grow, you want your program to improve, and you want your country's ranking to go up.
Yeah, and you mentioned St. Lucia earlier. Before Connie Francis, Mineth Reynolds, another Jamaican, actually coached that team. And when they played the qualifiers in Kingston a couple of years ago, it was Mineth Reynolds who was in charge of that setup. So, yeah, the St. Lucians have, not been afraid to get assistance from overseas. Let's talk about St. Vincent and the Grenadines then, Stacey, because they have been fantastic this tournament. 8 matches, 8 wins. They have been dominant through most, if not all of them. They were pushed by the Cayman Islands, so I think we all believe to be the most improved team, but 93-16 over Guyana, 55-43 over Cayman Islands, 92-10 over Montserrat, 57-40 over Dominica, 63-53 over Barbados, 57-43 over St. Lucia, 74-19 over Anguilla, and 47-41 over Antigua and Barbuda. St. Vincent and the Grenadines have been excellent this campaign.
They definitely have. They came in with a target. They came in with a goal. And the mindset they had was definitely to win this competition. I remember speaking to, I think it was about 2 players, and their focus was that they came in to win this tournament for their goal shooter. That was a gift they wanted to give her. And I'm sure that from last year, having lost, last year, I'm sorry, they would have won. And if to follow the trend, they were expecting that Grenada, most persons would have expected that Grenada will take it on home soil. But of course, they came out saying, nope, 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 we are going to take this one. And they would have set the pace from early with their high scoring.
Much the case. You talk about their goal shooter, Marianne Frederick. She celebrated her birthday yesterday. In fact, they wrapped up the title on her birthday. So what a gift for her. And yes, certainly this Vincentian team, they are coached by Natasha Baptiste. In 2022, when they came to the qualifiers, the Americas qualifiers in Kingston, she was the president. She is still the president, but she is also the head coach of this team now, and clearly she knows what she's about.
Well, I was talking to her a little bit, and she has one goal in mind. Well, she has a couple goals, but the main goal right now that they have is to qualify for Netball World Cup 2028. So they have prepared themselves. They have used this tournament just to gauge where they are in terms of their preparations, go back to the drawing board, and then continue to prepare for the qualifiers next year. And it's showing. It's definitely working, and I think that the affiliates of the association must be very proud because they would have re-elected her unopposed as president. So they definitely believe in what she is going for.
And the one thing I want to say, I've been really impressed with the professionalism displayed by this St. Vincent and the Grenadines team. It's not just that they're winning, it's how they're winning as well. I watch closely all the teams from the point they get to the venue, their warm-up routines, all of that, because I think those small details are so important in telling you where a team is going. And I've paid attention closely to the Vincentian team, and I've been very impressed with just about everything they have done from start to finish. They really know what they're about, and they look like a team that is serious about what they want to achieve. And you pointed out that is getting to the next World Cup.
Coaches tend to have this saying and tend to tell their players, you play the way you warm up. So if you go to warm up and they always say you're looking scrappy, then expect you to look scrappy on the court. You got to get that mindset, get your mind focused from your warm up until you take the court to play. And that is what they have done. And as I said before, they have a goal in mind. Win this tournament, next stop, qualifiers, get one of those spots so that they can go to Netball World Cup.
Yeah, very much the case. When I saw them at the Americas qualifiers in Kingston in 2022, I felt this was a team that could go far if they stayed on the same path that they were on. And obviously they've continued to work, they've continued to improve, and they have kept the nucleus of their team together. And that is important when you are trying to achieve something of this magnitude, that you are able to keep the core of your unit together, because you want to improve together, and as you go along you can make additions to the setup to improve, but by and large the core of the team must be the same, and that's what we've been seeing from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And by the way, you mentioned how things have gone in terms of the title moving from Grenada to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's the first time that a team has successfully defended this title. Grenada won in 2019, St. Vincent and the Grenadines in 2022. Of course, no tournament in 2020 and 2021 because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Grenada won again in 2023, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines last year. But this time around, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, in my estimation, have come a significantly better team, and they have proven impossible to stop. And I think a victory that really proved how far they have come as a unit. And yes, it's not the first time, but to repeat, I thought was impressive, was the win over Barbados.
Spot on. That win was I call it the most emotional game for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, because they would have defeated Barbados before. And if you know the Bajan Gems, they do not take defeat lightly. They are going to come back and want to bring it to you hard. But St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they came out, they played, and they won that game. And I think that in itself says something about the program that they have going on.
And it's critical, because if they are going to get to the World Cup, they will have to beat either Trinidad and Tobago or Barbados on their way there. So that is extremely significant. The Jamaicans will again likely qualify on world ranking. Jamaica at this stage 3 in the world, and with the core that they have, it is unlikely that they will fall outside the top 4 by that time. They continue to show themselves a world-class team. So the Vincentians will look at this tournament and they will say to themselves, yes, we're doing the right things, we're on the right path, we need to continue working hard, because we have to get even better. Because yes, it's one thing to get to the World Cup, but when you get there, you want to be competitive as well. You don't want to get to the World Cup and get smashed left, right, and center.
Absolutely. You need to prove why you're here. It's not a case that you just got a free trip. You need to prove why you're there. And I think that if they go back and truly continue working, don't be comfortable with the win that they had over Barbados, but continue working and get to that qualifiers, they really stand a chance. But of course, they can't pause. They must put in the work.
Still going through their warm-up paces, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the champions for a third time, getting ready to take on the 2-time champions and the home team, Grenada. And the umpires will be doing their inspections shortly as the players complete their warm-up routines. Ricardo Chambers is alongside Stacey Lake, and we're excited to bring this to you. We can't wait for the start of this one. Let's have a more specific look at the contest then, Stacey, because the thinking coming into this is that the Vincentians, based on everything that we have seen, should win this contest. How comfortably, we'll have to wait and see. But this is sport, and you never know what will happen. The crowd will be behind the Grenadians. They will be pumped out of the disappointment of losing to St. Lucia last night. They finished that match against St. Lucia really well. They were down by about 11 when they made a run, lost by only 4. So the question, do they have a shot in this contest? We know they can't win the title, but could they create the upset tonight?
On paper, the Vincentians are the favorite. In open air with the crowd, the Grenadians are the favorite. It will come down to how they structure their teams. We know that St. Vincent's strongest end is their attacking end. Their defensive end is youthful but still very good. So it is now presented as a wonderful meal to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's up to them how they will enjoy it.
Very much the case. Let's have a look at the St. Vincent and the Grenadines starting lineup. Marion Frederick will be at goal shoot. Christiana Christopher at goal attack. Shalissa Davis, the captain, at wing attack, will co-captain alongside Frederick. Shania Pompey at center. Kaila Miller at wing defense, Jamaria Kwashi at goal defense, and Kewana Charles takes her position as usual at goal shoot. And then for Grenada, Letitia Cato at goal shoot, Selena Brown at goal attack, Tiffany Frederick at wing attack, Jamie John, the captain at centre, Jana Kalist at wing defense, Celine Brown, the twin sister of Selena, at goal defense, and Camille Slinger at goalkeep. Any surprises, Stacey?
For Grenada, no. For St. Vincent and the Grenadines, not really. I do expect at some point, though, that Kwao will come in to the mix. She has been very good for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, so I do expect her to come in.
Off with the contest, Marianne Frederick, the leading scorer in the competition, gets her team off and running with the first goal of the encounter. Centre pass, Grenada. Right away, you can see the Vincentians putting pressure from the midcourt, making it difficult for the Grenadians to transition. Letitia Cato will be under pressure. Her mobility will be tested significantly tonight. She gets the first goal for the Grenadians, and it comes with applause from the crowd that is already building.
Charles, the goalkeeper for St. Vincent, she tends to mark very close, so definitely she should be putting a little bit of pressure on Cato.
Is it safe to say that this is already the biggest crowd of the tournament?
Absolutely. Yes, it is.
They have possession of the ball now, Grenada. Easy coming from the bench. Just telling them to focus, to be patient. Here's a lob into Cato. She's well away from the target. Contact called, and the penalty pass to Cato is put away, and the Grenadians off to a good start, and they have the centre pass with an opportunity to make it 3-1. Oh, love the ball there into Brown. Brown came up short, but Cato got the rebound, and Grenada up 3-1. Approaching 2 minutes into the contest. St. Vincent and the Grenadines attacking quickly. Oh, Marianne Frederick was looking for Christopher, and they are fortunate to keep that in play.
Co-captain Davis made a smooth run for that one.
Christopher, neat little lob into Marianne Frederick, and Frederick scores to make it 2 to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, 3 to Grenada. St. Vincent and the Grenadines trying to level things now. Captain Davis goes long into Frederick, and Frederick pulls that out of the air and scores a third for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Terrific battle already. Those long balls will be consistent into Marianne Frederick, and she has the mobility to pluck those out of the air. That's significant as St. Vincent and the Grenadines lead for the second time tonight, 4-3. 3.5 minutes gone in the contest.
Grenada seems to be double teaming Frederick to prevent her from shooting, but they should also realize that Christopher is a good shooter, so maybe they should be doing man-on-man to try and pressure that ball.
Yeah, that's an interesting observation. The largest share of the night so far, as Letitia Cato puts in another one to level for Grenada. And John wins it in the midcourt for the Grenadians. Nothing special that she did, John. She was just in the right place at the right time, and sometimes that is all you need. Patiently, they work their way up court. Frederick into Cato. Cato hammers it off to Brown. gets a call and shoots and scores. The Grenadians stay in front. Center pass. Now it's about taking care of the ball. Oh, Kato. They call her Timmy. She's not timid on that shot though. 6-4 to Grenada. Do you have any idea why they call her Timmy?
I think that's just a home name, Timmy, from a long time ago. So that just stuck with her.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines have been tested quite a bit early in matches this campaign. It's usually the second half where they pull away. But they don't want to take any chances against this Grenada team with the crowd behind them. Frederick misses. And it's Grenada's ball. Marian Frederick quite unhappy. Listen to the crowd in the background. They are up for this as much as the players are up for this. And the 7 on the court for the Spice Girls are really putting a fabulous first 6 minutes together.
I'm loving it, Ricardo. I'm loving the competition. It's not a one-sided game right now. So let's see what happens.
Every pass, every catch, every shot is being cheered on. Every rebound as Kato gets another one. An opportunity to make it 7-4 and open a 3-goal advantage for Grenada. This is exactly what the doctor ordered for them. The last thing they wanted was to go behind early in this contest, and they've come out with real purpose.
Yes, this is a totally different game face and gameplay that you're seeing from the Grenadians right now.
John again winning it. Here is Brown. John Brown. Does she go long? She does go long. And Kato takes a marvelous catch and she gets the contact. Now she will shoot and score. 8-4. Grenada in front.
They are on fire. The crowd is loving it. And trust me, Grenada came out to play today. You're seeing it.
Well, Kato is moving like she's not moved for the entire week. I don't think I've seen her leap like that. St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Remember, they have so much quality. I don't expect them to get too rattled. They know the quality that they have in their setup, and they know it's just a 4-goal difference. Marianne Frederick, that's a rare miss for her. And then she puts up this one. 8-5.
Not the first miss. She seemed to be under some pressure from the Grenadian defense there, because it's not an ordinary misses for her.
Yeah, maybe feeling the pressure a little bit. This one into Kato again. That's very well taken. Glimpses of Letitia Kato at her best in the first 7 or 8 minutes of this contest. I've not seen her like this week. This is impressive. Oh, that's well done. That's great defending. The Grenadians contesting every ball at this stage as St. Vincent and the Grenadines score another one. Grenada in front by 3. Approaching 9 minutes in the first quarter.
It is challenging. It's always challenging to mark a tall and strong shooter. So Charles, although she's going body on body with Timmy, she's getting those calls. So she maybe needs to just be light on her feet, bounce around a bit, confuse the passers, and try to see how she can intercept some. But standing just side on and staying still, she is going to get those calls against her.
10th minute of the first quarter. St. Vincent and the Grenadines in possession. They trail by 4. Another turnover from the Vincentians. They look a little bit rattled here, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This is why we play the games. That's another lovely ball into Letitia Cato. This does not look like the Grenadian team that was well beaten by St. Lucia last night. This does not look like the same team that has played the duration of this tournament.
No, this definitely looks like a renewed Grenada team. A team that did not go up to their expectation before, but they're coming back to say, this is what we're made of. Watch us now.
Yeah, they have been patchy and inconsistent for a lot of this tournament, for many of the matches in this tournament. Christopher and Davis working together. Surely the lob will go into Frederick. Frederick is very commanding and aggressive in that circle. And she puts away another one. That's one thing I like about her. She commands her space.
You just have to ensure that when you're passing to her, it has to be perfect.
The Grenadians defending stoutly, and they almost won the ball there. They're closing down the passing options for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and they have won it.
They're definitely pressuring the midcourt, Ricardo. If you watch it, the pressure Grenada is given is in the midcourt.
And Cato is catching brilliantly. Cato puts up and puts in another one. That's the 12th goal of the contest. And the Grenadians are up by 5 with the center pass. You have to love this. This side of the venue pretty soon will be at capacity, because the crowd is continuing to build, and if the Grenadians continue to play like this, then surely it will build. Soon there will be no space over there. Here is Brown into Cato. The call for Grenada. Cato will shoot. Cato will score. That's 13-7. What a terrific opening quarter for the Spice Girls. Center pass for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Pompey, well, if they were not rattled before, they're certainly rattled now. Shalissa Davis, the captain, goes long. That's a lovely ball into her co-captain. And another goal for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. They stay within 5. Just a slight pause in play. I think just to dry the ball. Slinger and Celine Brown really working overtime on the defensive end for Grenada, trying to make Marian Frederick as uncomfortable as possible. And she is not a player that is easy to make uncomfortable. 12.5 minutes gone in the first quarter. Grenada up by 5. Frederick fires it into Brown. Brown will look for Cato, I'm sure. She gets closer though and gets the opportunity to take the shot, which she buries. 14-8. Grenada up by 6. Center pass, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Even the center passes are difficult to make now. Here is Christopher, who's had a free reign for so much of this tournament. This is the first time I have seen the Vincentians under this amount of pressure. I didn't see the Cayman Islands game where they trailed a lot of. But this is really good stuff from Grenada as Slinger puts on more pressure, but Marian Frederick is able to escape this time and score again for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. 14-9. Grenada in possession. 13.5 minutes gone. Cato gets the better of Kewana Charles again and scores the 15th goal for Grenada. This is their best quarter of the tournament, there is no doubt. I've not seen this level of consistency from the Spice Girls this campaign, but they are putting together a tremendous quarter.
They are absolutely playing wonderful, Ricardo. It's 15 minutes to a quarter, and they've already reached what you can say a goal a minute. So that is spectacular, knowing that they're playing St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
They can make it 16. A rare wayward pass. But they will retain possession, the Spice Girls. Can they find a way to get this one to land? Yes. Well, I'm surprised that Kato passed that one out. She was in position to shoot. Maybe you can explain that one to me.
Sometimes, depending on where you are, you may not be seeing the pole properly, or it's a case that she was just not comfortably balanced. So she sent it out just so she can get it back.
The Grenadians quite dissatisfied, certainly the fans, with a lot of the calls in last night's match against St. Lucia. I don't think they can have the same feel so far tonight. 16-9. This is a terrific opening quarter. Grenada lead by 7. And it's St. Vincent and the Grenadines who already have the title wrapped up, who have work to do. It will be bittersweet if they are unable to knock off Grenada in this final match of the night. And if Grenada are able to go all the way and win, they will think about what might have been had they delivered against St. Lucia last night.
Yes, this is definitely just for St. Vincent to enjoy, but also it should be a case where they want to win this game and just have a clean slate. And for Grenada, as you said, it's still to say, hey, we had it. We may have slipped up against St. Lucia, but we still have what it takes.
It is a terrific opening quarter from Grenada. It's the best I've seen of them this campaign. They lead 16-9, really consistent throughout those 15 minutes. I don't think they had a letdown, and we've become accustomed to those letdowns during quarters for the duration of this campaign, but not so far tonight. Letitia Kato, interestingly as well, moving better than she has moved this entire tournament. She's getting off her feet. It seems as if she is able to put more pressure on those knees, and it's a really good look for the home side so far.
Grenada definitely has been playing in all ends. The defenses, they have been able to pick some of the balls, force some turnovers. The midcourt has been applying the pressure to St. Vincent, forcing turnovers. And of course, those passes into Kato have been perfect. So she's able just to grab them. And once she has them, she's going to score. Not to mention, she's also moving around, as you said, not just in jumping, but she's rolling around her defender in order to get herself that perfect position.
Well, the fans are in, and the Grenadians are giving them a treat so far. The first quarter out the way, 16-9. Grenada lead. We'll be back with the second quarter after this.
Netball, netball, yes, exciting, edge of your seat netball is back. It's the 5th ECCB International Netball Series in the Spice Isle of Grenada, August 23rd to 31st at Tanteen Netball Complex in St. George's. Witness 7 ECCB member countries: Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, Commonwealth of Dominica, Grenada, Montserrat, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines battle for the coveted Gloria Valentine Championship Trophy. But wait, there's more. The 5th ECCB International Netball Series will also feature visiting teams from Barbados, the Cayman Islands, and Guyana, who will reign supreme at the 5th ECCB International Netball Series. Go on out to the Netball Complex at Tanteen or connect to the ECCB Connect's Facebook page and YouTube channel for live coverage of the matches. It's netball action at its best. Excellence and empowerment through sports. Netball, netball, yes, exciting, edge of your seat netball is back. It's the 5th ECCB International Netball Series in the Spice Isle of Grenada, August 23rd to 31st at Tanteen Netball Complex in St. George's. Witness 7 ECCB member countries: Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, Commonwealth of Dominica, Grenada, Montserrat, St. Lucia and St. Vincent and the Grenadines battle for the coveted Gloria Valentine Championship Trophy. But wait, there's more. The 5th ECCB International Netball Series will also feature visiting teams from Barbados, the Cayman Islands, and Guyana, who will reign supreme at the 5th ECCB International Netball Series. Go on out to the Netball Complex at Tanteen.
The Grenadines are staying focused. They want to maintain the quality they displayed in the first quarter. St. Vincent and the Grenadines know they have to pull it together. St. Vincent and the Grenadines with the center pass to start the second quarter. My name is Ricardo Chambers and I'm working alongside Stacey Lake. Lovely ball there into Marian Frederick, and it is the perfect start for St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines will have to find their rhythm. They will have to go back to the basics of how they're accustomed playing and put some real pressure on Grenada if they want to come back in this.
Kiwana Charles at goalkeep. Really sticking to Cato. Gets the contact. Cato puts up another one and scores. 17-10, the Grenadians maintaining their 7-goal advantage. Pompey goes across court. Dangerous pass, but they get away with it. Christopher trying to find Frederick. Goes with the low pass this time. Frederick settles herself and scores a second one this quarter for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The other thing to consider, Stacey, is whether the Grenadians can maintain the intensity that we saw in the first quarter, because it takes high level of fitness to be able to do that.
That is going to be very, very important, Ricardo. If they can't, let's say at least up to the third quarter, then things could very much change.
Here, Shalissa Davis, the co-captain, fires it into Marian Frederick. And Frederick waits patiently for the Spice Girl, Camille Slinger, to move out the way to take the shot. 18-12, Grenada by 6. Lovely lob into Cato. Cato puts away another one. 19-12, Grenada leads St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Over 2 minutes gone in this second quarter. Turnover from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Christopher unable to take that one. Frederick putting in some defensive work. That's when you know that matters are getting serious.
Very, very serious. And again, the mid-court is where Grenada, St. Vincent seems to be losing it, right in the mid-court. There's no challenge for Grenada's shooting end. You just can't challenge that right now.
Grenada can go up here by 8, and then they will have the center pass, so there will be a chance to go up by 9. 19-12 at the moment. Another lob comes into Cato. Under pressure, but the contacts are mounting up. So right now, Cato winning this battle, and maybe they need to find another way of dealing with those long balls coming in, because they're marking Cato so closely. But she's the one winning these battles. 21-12. Grenada by 9.
Again, there is no way Charles will be able to get those balls based on how she's positioning against Cato. No way she'll be able to get those balls. So they will have to do some adjustments.
Shalissa Davis, I think, is now at goal attack.
And Deshong has come in at wing attack.
Yes, she has. Deshong on. St. Vincent and the Grenadines shell-shocked at the moment. The Spice Girls have continued to pour it on in the second quarter. This is a significant advantage even though we're only in the second quarter. And what is significant is that Cato is playing brilliantly. 22-13. And maybe if it was hope at the start of this contest, all of Grenada is starting to believe now.
This is a Grenada team that was needed throughout the entire tournament.
Where was this Grenada team all week? You're looking at a Grenada team that lost 3 matches coming into tonight against the unbeaten St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The Grenadians are saying, you may have the title, but we are showing you our full repertoire. Just listen to the buzz around Tanteen. That's a wonderful ball. I was going to say it seemed like a bailout, but it was so good. 23-15 in favor of Grenada. The Vincentians are unable to get the ball away from them. The Grenadians are scoring on every single center pass. 24-15. Deshong. Oh, she goes long again. That must be the plan. Get Deshong into the game. Go long into Marian Frederick. Waste no time. 6 minutes gone in the second quarter. 24-16. Grenada in front. They lead by 8. Cato takes this one at the top of the arc. That's where they need to force her to collect most of those balls. At the moment, it's been very easy for her. Again, another contact. Again, another easy goal for Grenada, 25-16.
Yes, Charles, it's where, see, now Kwao is coming into the mix, but she's coming in on the wing defense, replacing Miller. But Charles had to make some changes. She has to change how she's playing Cato. It's definitely not working.
Yeah, that was always going to be dangerous. Surely, I figured the Grenadians would have picked up on that long ball coming in from Deshong.
It's low. The first one, I was watching it and say it's a little bit too low. And they did it again. And Slinger, she watched it perfectly, timed it perfectly, and she got it.
If you're going to send them in from that far, though, there is always the danger of you not getting the height that is required.
Yeah, you have to perfect it. If you can't, play it safe.
7 minutes gone in this quarter. Cato is superb again. No. But it was a brilliant attempt. That's for sure. The Vincentians will be breathing a sigh of relief. Oh, they win the ball back. Grenada. Wow. Cato! They're on their feet.
Cato actually won that ball back too with her long arms.
That is superb. And 10 goals the difference now. Well, I wonder who saw this coming. Here's another long ball. Has Charles finally won one? Yes, she has. The Vincentians are shell-shocked. That doesn't go. But she gets the contact and now she puts it up and in. 26-17. 8 minutes gone in the second quarter. Possession St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they are still sticking with that long ball. And every single one of them giving the Grenadian defenders an opportunity to steal.
Yes, they have to make some changes in their play. Just like that, there's a turnover. It won't always have to be that long pass into Frederick.
It is one of the things we accused the Grenadians earlier this week of being too one-dimensional. And now maybe St. Vincent and the Grenadines starting to be a little bit guilty of that. The Grenadians have added dynamism in their attack through Selena Brown, who has been brilliant in the last few games she's played, in my estimation. And once again tonight, when she's been needed, she stepped up, although she hasn't been needed a lot because Kato has been superb. 11 goals the difference. Wow, this is starting to get beyond St. Vincent and the Grenadines now.
It's definitely looking like a championship game, Ricardo. And Brown, as you mentioned, she has been the support that Kato needed all along. In all the games that she played, she has provided that support for Kato.
9.5 minutes gone in this quarter. Here is Lucia Davis. That's a good shot. St. Vincent and the Grenadines need to try and go on a run to see if they can take the crowd out of the game. At the moment, they aren't able to get the ball away from the Grenadians on their center pass. And that was probably the first time in this quarter. 28-19, St. Vincent and the Grenadines with possession. Davis for Deschamps. Deschamps goes into Frederick. That one was easy. Frederick puts up another one and scores. 28-20. 8 goals the difference. Nice to the run for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. That's 3 in a row. Every time you win, every time you score on your opponent's center pass, it is potentially a 2-goal swing. And St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I think, will get this one again. So, is this the run that they desperately need? Here is Shalissa Davis. Into Frederick. Frederick shoots, Frederick scores. That's 4 in a row. So this could be a 5-goal swing now if they can take care of their center pass here. The Spice Girls have to be careful. They have the lead and it's a substantial one, but the Vincentians could cut it to 6. Lovely ball into Frederick. Frederick scores again, and just like that, the Vincentians are 6 behind. Center pass, Grenada. John. This is where you just need the leadership, Stacey, to calm things down and say, hey, let's get back to work. Let's get back to business. Let's get back to this. Another goal for Grenada there, 29th, 11.5 gone in the second quarter.
And that's where the captain has to be on court to basically control the players, calm them down, let them know, hey, let's play our game.
Great ball into Frederick, and Frederick puts up another one. 29-23, Grenada in front by 6. Kato hounded once again. Goal number 30 of the contest for Grenada. Deschamps. That was a bailout and it didn't work. Once again, too low. And down to Kato. All she's doing right now, top of the D, one big step closer to goal, shooting and scoring, and the Vincentians are unable to stop her. This time she misses. And that for me is a better play, Stacey. Force her to shoot away from the goal.
Yes, that's what Charles needs to do. Get her as far as possible from the pole. Let her catch that ball. Force her to pass it back out to try to get closer. And then try to see if you can get an intercept or a rebound.
Well worked by St. Vincent and the Grenadines as Marianne Frederick puts up their 24th goal of the contest, and it will be their center pass. They are behind by 7, the champions. They will still believe they can come back from this. They know 2 quarters are a lot. They have been in similar positions this tournament, notably against the Cayman Islands. That's well won. Was that Quao? Yes, brilliant work from Quao. Can they capitalize? This could be a significant swing at the end of this quarter if the Vincentians can score the next 2 goals. Frederick puts the first one up. 31-26, and now they are behind by 5. And if they can't score their center pass, it will be 4. By my clock, we're in the last minute. Frederick scores! And St. Vincent and the Grenadines are within 4. Grenada center pass. Long into Cato. Brown easing this one into her, and Cato finds a way to make it count. And Grenada back in front by 5. Not a lot of time left in this quarter. Can the Vincentians get the ball into Frederick quickly? Great defensive work this from Grenada, but that is a lovely ball from Shalissa Davis. And Frederick scores 32-28. Is there enough time? 4 is the difference. They've been behind by as many as 9. In fact, 11. Thank you very much, Stacy. Contact. Charles on Cato. And Cato puts this one in. Penalty shot ensures Grenada lead by 5 at the halftime break. 33-28. What an enthralling quarter, Stacy. What an enthralling half. And it is Grenada with the advantage. But St. Vincent and the Grenadines came roaring back at the back end of that second quarter.
Grenada cannot be comfortable. They cannot think they have this in the bag just yet. As you said before, St. Vincent has been in this position before, and they came back. Don't underestimate them. You got to keep the pressure, keep going as you have been for the first half, and don't let up, because the moment you let up, they are going to crawl through. Charles for St. Vincent. That's the end. You cannot, once Cato has that ball close to the pole, you just got to try and pray she misses and you get a rebound. So she has to change her positioning against Cato in order to see if she can force a turnover from Cato. Both shooting ends are strong. So again, we still have 30 minutes to go.
Well, it's the most enthralling 30 minutes I've seen in this tournament so far. Guess what? I'm sure you'll want to see the second 30. Stick around. We'll be back with the second half.
Netball, netball, yes, exciting, edge of your seat netball is back. It's the 5th ECCB International Netball Series in the Spice Isle of Grenada, August 23rd to 31st at Tanteen Netball Complex in St. George's. Witness 7 ECCB member countries: Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, Commonwealth of Dominica, Grenada, Montserrat, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines battle for the coveted Gloria Valentine Championship Trophy. But wait, there's more! The 5th ECCB International Netball Series will also feature visiting teams from Barbados, the Cayman Islands, and Guyana, who will reign supreme at the 5th ECCB International Netball Series. Go on out to the Netball Complex at Tanteen or connect to the ECCB Connect's Facebook page and YouTube channel for live coverage of the matches. It's netball action at its best. Excellence and empowerment through sports. Netball, netball, yes, exciting, edge of your seat netball is back. It's the 5th ECCB International Netball Series in the Spice Isle of Grenada, August 23rd to 31st at Tanteen Netball Complex in St. George's. Witness 7 ECCB member countries: Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, Commonwealth of Dominica, Grenada, Montserrat, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines battle for the coveted Gloria Valentine Championship Trophy. But wait, there's more! The 5th ECCB International Netball Series will also feature visiting teams from Barbados, the Cayman Islands, and Guyana, who will reign supreme at the 5th ECCB International Netball Series. Go on out to the Netball Complex at Tanteen or connect to the ECCB Connect's Facebook page and YouTube channel for live coverage of the matches. It's netball action at its best. Excellence and empowerment through sports. Netball, netball, yes, exciting edge of your seat netball is back. It's the 5th ECCB International Netball Series in the Spice Isle of Grenada, August 23rd to 31st at Tanteen Netball Complex in St. George's. Witness 7 ECCB member countries: Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, Commonwealth of Dominica, Grenada, Montserrat, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines battle for the coveted Gloria Valentine Championship Trophy. But wait, there's more. The 5th ECCB International Netball Series will also feature visiting teams from Barbados, the Cayman Islands, and Guyana, who will reign supreme at the 5th ECCB International Netball Series. Go on out to the Netball Complex at Tanteen or connect to the ECCB Connect's Facebook page and YouTube channel for live coverage of the matches. It's netball action at its best. Excellence and empowerment through sports. Netball, netball, yes, exciting edge of your seat netball is back. It's the 5th ECCB International Netball Series in the Spice Isle of Grenada, August 23rd to 31st at Tanteen Netball Complex in St. George's. Witness 7 ECCB member countries: Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, Commonwealth of Dominica, Grenada, Montserrat, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines battle for the coveted Gloria Valentine Championship Trophy. But wait, there's more. The 5th ECCB International Netball Series will also feature visiting teams from Barbados, the Cayman Islands, and Guyana, who will reign supreme at the 5th ECCB International Netball Series. Go on out to the Netball.
The most intense netball rivalry in the OECS region on display in all its glory, and it's Grenada who lead St. Vincent and the Grenadines at the half, 33-28, 5 goals the difference. Grenada dominated the first quarter, and they were dominating the second quarter, but St. Vincent and the Grenadines came roaring back in the last 5 minutes. And Stacey, in fact, SVG outscored Grenada in that second quarter.
Yes, they did. They would have actually registered 19 goals in the second quarter versus this Grenada's 17. And of course, even the lead, there's a difference in the lead, because at the end of the first quarter, Grenada led by 7. At the end of the second quarter, the lead is now 5. So you can see St. Vincent slowly clawing their way back into this, and Grenada has to stay focused if they want to walk away.
It is certainly not an insurmountable lead for the champions, the St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but the Spice Girls have to be proud about how they have performed so far. But they also fully understand that 30 minutes does not make a game. It's a full 60-minute contest, and they are only halfway there. And the more difficult half is about to come now.
It has been an intense first half. They have definitely played, and now it will come down to who can sustain themselves throughout the third and the fourth quarter. Again, you cannot underestimate St. Vincent. Grenada has to score all their balls. St. Vincent has to steal some of Grenada's balls in order to win.
A few of the teams who have completed competition watching on in this contest as well, including a few of the Barbadian girls. Centre pass St. Vincent and the Grenadines to start the third quarter. If they can win this quarter, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I think they'll be favourites to go on and win it, because they have been so strong in the fourth quarter of their matches. But maybe this is the type of rivalry where you throw form out the window. The Vincentians not exactly happy with a few of the calls they've gotten tonight. Wasting no time getting that ball into Cato. And tonight she is been fantastic. 34-29, 5 still the difference. Pompey did well to pull that one in. Here's Shalissa Davis wasting no time getting it into Frederick. And then Davis. Oh, Frederick does brilliantly to win the rebound. But that was dangerous play. I was surprised that Frederick didn't go for the shot when she had the opportunity. But when a game is this tight, when a game is this difficult, and when you're feeling the pressure, you will second guess. And that is when errors can happen. You really require calm heads in situations like this. Here is Brown putting up another one for Grenada. 35-30.
Safe play is important right now. Can't take any chances at all.
LeShong to Davis. Does Davis go for the shot? Yes, she does. That's a very good shot. She's played wing attack for most of this tournament, but she's slotted into the goal attack position, and she has been very good so far. Incidentally, Christopher, who she has replaced in that position, was the Vincentian player of the tournament last year. So a big move made by coach Natasha Baptiste. But it has helped to turn around her teams of 14 so far. Long ball into Frederick, and Frederick puts up another one. Cato pretty close to flawless tonight. Timid Indian hero. (37-32). And 33 for the difference.
Right now, Ricardo, it is shot for shot. So again, the difference gonna be from the midcourt.
Yeah, this one is on a knife's edge, that's for sure. You can feel the tension around Tanteen. They have really measured those passes well into Letitia Timikato. That one was close, but it was magnificently weighted. Now we have everything. There's a vuvuzela in the background. Is that your favorite instrument, Stacy?
Yes, I love that. It really builds the vibes, especially when it comes on to Carifta. Yes.
Grenada. They get the turnover. And now they patiently build an attack. They have to figure out a way how to stop contacting Cato.
Charles is allowing Kato to put her where she wants, as opposed to making Kato uncomfortable. And so, like right now, for example, how she's standing, she's giving Kato all the space.
Yes,
so that
is.
lob can come over perfect to Kato. And
It is
she's going to
unlikely
contact.
she's going to win that ball.
Very unlikely. So I think she needs to get Kato out, as opposed to giving her the space to go into the pool.
Stay behind her, keeper at the top of the arc. 40-34, the Grenadians back up by 6, and they have the center pass, so they could make it 7 here. They attack quickly. Charles leaps high for the block, but gets the call against her, and another one easily lobbed into Kato, who scores the 41st goal of the contest for Grenada. They've waited for the final match to have their best performance. Marianne Frederick has remained consistent, like the juggernaut she's been for the duration of this tournament. There you go. That is what you want to force Kato to do. And the first time she does it, the Vincentians win the ball.
On target, Ricardo. We're on target.
Lovely ball again into Marianne Frederick. And this one drifts in. 41-36, 5 the difference. Here's the opportunity to make it 4. Loose play from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. That's the last thing they wanted at that stage, having just won the ball back. That was dangerous play. Kato standing tall. 42-36. Grenada edging this quarter by 1 so far, and they have the center pass to make it 2 and extend their advantage to 7. Great work between Kato and Brown. 43-36, Grenada up by 7. More pressure on St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Just listen to the buzz. Listen to the buzz. Even in silence, there's a buzz. 43-37. Grenada by 6. We're in the third quarter of this contest.
This is a very good game, Ricardo.
I think the quality of Kato tonight is making a significant difference in this contest. Yes, this entire Grenada team is a much improved team from what we've seen throughout the tournament. But for me, Kato has been especially good.
Yeah, she's definitely moving, and that's important. Ooh, Frederick missed that one.
Exactly what Marianne Frederick didn't need. Grenada can really make them pay here. Yes! The fans are on their feet once again. 8 goals the difference now, and the Spice Girls leading this third quarter by 3. Long ball into Kato. Charles finally gets one to go in her direction. But the Vincentians remain under pressure. They have to find a way to score. Neat ball into Frederick. Contact. Frederick shoots. Frederick scores. 45-38, 7 the difference. Center pass St. Vincent and the Grenadines. They can't afford any more mistakes in this quarter. SVG, lovely ball into Frederick again. And she puts up another one. 2 quick goals for the Vincentians. Brings it back to 6. You have to give Grenada a lot of credit because every time the Vincentians have come close, they have responded. Every time you think that maybe they are getting a little bit tired, they have stepped up again. They have found something extra. And here they are trying to do it one more time. There is Cato again. Yes. 46-39.
Yes, you definitely have to give the Grenadians credit for that. They're still applying the pressure that they did in the first and the second quarter, and that's important if you want to win this game.
Well, that is a very good shot from Shalissa Davis. Marianne Frederick had given her the option by going out wide to make the pass. Cato is putting pressure on that knee like she's not done for the duration of this tournament, and it ensures that the Grenadians are in front by 7. Critical moments of the third quarter. The Vincentians turn the ball over.
Not good if they want to win this game. You can't be turning over the balls when you're behind.
This could be a match-defining quarter if the Grenadians can hold on to win it. They're up by 7 and they are about to make it 8. They do make it 8. 48-40.
The wing attack for St. Vincent getting a warning there.
That's the Shang. Here's John. Oh, look at Selena Brown. That is fantastic. She came out of nowhere. And talk about the vision for the pass. Talk about the catch from Marianne Frederick. St. Vincent and the Grenadines needed that. Closing stages of the third quarter. The Grenadians started this quarter in front by 5. They are now in front by 8. And they have a chance to make it 9. And I'll say the same thing I said when the Grenadians were playing St. Lucia last night. Grenada have looked more and more comfortable in this contest. You're not getting the feeling that there's a great Vincentian comeback to come.
At this stage, unless they change something, but again, you cannot rule out St. Vincent just yet.
No, you definitely can't. There's still a long way to go, but at this stage, the Grenadians still look strong. But things can change really quickly, as we saw at the back end of the second quarter. They can't hand a cater tonight. So that goal was a no-go. But this one will be. So now they're at 51-42. They are packed into Tanteen. Another magnificent ball from Shalissa Davis. She is the queen of the long balls. Deschamps hasn't gotten the height right on a couple of occasions, but Davis has not missed. 51-43, Grenada by 8. Pause in play, player down.
Seems to be the goal attack for Grenada. And the goal defense for St. Vincent Pompey is being suspended.
Pompey started at center. She's in tears because now she feels as if she's let her team down.
And she has to sit out for 2 minutes.
So St. Vincent and the Grenadines behind, and they only have 6 on the court. Talk about drama. Talk about drama. 51-43. Grenada by 9 now. 52-43. And this is where this could be most dangerous for St. Vincent and the Grenadines as they attack one short. Shalissa Davis working overtime.
Yes, St. Vincent is definitely in a dangerous position.
Oh, they tried to get that one quickly into Marian Frederick. It was Miller in at center. Frederick wasn't ready for it. And real problems now for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And they might be fortunate. I would say they are fortunate. The end of that quarter has come at the perfect time. Grenada 52, St. Vincent and the Grenadines 43. The Grenadians won that third quarter by 4. And now, Stacey, they are sensing that they have the measure of this St. Vincent and the Grenadines team with 15 minutes to play.
Yes, they are. Right now, the way it looks, should Grenada come out with the same intensity that they have for the first 3 quarters, Grenada has bagged this game. St. Vincent, they have already won the championship, yes, but you want to go out in fine style. You want to have a clean slate, how you've been doing all along. But for right now, this still seems like a championship game, and Grenada is playing it like it is.
Well, the large Grenadian flag is out and it's waving all over Tanteen. It's waving all over St. George's. It will continue to wave for the final quarter. We'll be back for it.
Netball, netball, yes, exciting edge of your seat netball is back. It's the 5th ECCB International Netball Series in the Spice Isle of Grenada, August 23rd to 31st at Tanteen Netball Complex in St. George's. Witness 7 ECCB member countries: Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, Commonwealth of Dominica, Grenada, Montserrat, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines battle for the coveted Gloria Valentine Championship Trophy. But wait, there's more. The 5th ECCB International Netball Series will also feature visiting teams from Barbados, the Cayman Islands, and Guyana, who will reign supreme at the 5th ECCB International Netball Series. Go on out to the Netball Complex at Tanteen or connect to the ECCB Connect's Facebook page and YouTube channel for live coverage of the matches. It's netball action at its best. Excellence and empowerment through sports. Netball, netball, yes, exciting edge of your seat netball is back. It's the 5th ECCB International Netball Series in the Spice Isle of Grenada, August 23rd to 31st at Tanteen Netball.
A nation turned up at the Tanteen Sports Complex with hope. That hope has turned to expectation. Grenada lead St. Vincent and the Grenadines 52-43. St. Vincent and the Grenadines have already been crowned champions of this tournament, but Grenada are trying to knock them off, and they have gone about it brilliantly. The first quarter was won convincingly by the Grenadians. The second quarter edged by 2 goals, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and then the Grenadians, importantly, critically, took the third quarter, Stacey.
Grenada went way ahead in this quarter. They would have actually scored 19 goals to St. Vincent's 15. So if St. Vincent is ever to come back in this competition, rather in this match, sorry, not competition, this match, then they will have to outscore Grenada in a huge way for the next quarter. And how Grenada is playing, that's a challenge.
9 goals the difference. This Vincentian team is good. They have a lot of quality, but can they overturn a 9-goal difference in 1 quarter? We've already seen a similar situation this tournament. Barbados against the Cayman Islands. The Barbadians overturned a 6-goal deficit at the end of the third quarter and won by 5. So that was an 11-goal differential that type of performance would win St. Vincent and the Grenadines the match, but this Grenada team is not relenting. They look as strong as they started. They don't look tired, and they are pumped up by the crowd. And it's Grenada's center pass to start the fourth and the final quarter. That is exactly what St. Vincent and the Grenadines needed. But now they have to find a way to convert. That is important. And one of the things the Grenadians can look to do in this quarter as well is to take care of the ball, running the clock down consistently. They have no need to rush. Just ensure that they continue to score. Good start. Frederick scores. Will be center pass St. Vincent and the Grenadines. They are behind by 8. They will try to score quickly, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, so we'll see a lot of long balls like that into Marion Frederick. Will create opportunities for the Grenadian defenders. 52-45. The lead down to 7. Center pass Grenada. Oh, that's won by the Vincentians, but they've given it back. It was Quo again. She's been very good since she's come on.
Quo has played a very good defense for St. Vincent. Whether it is in the circle or the midcourt, she's very light on her feet.
Times her runs to perfection, really. But a real missed opportunity that. Cato stays in and stays in well, misses though, but will get a second opportunity and will not miss a second time. 53-45. And the longer the Vincentians take to eat into this lead, is the more the pressure will build and the more they will try and force the game, and the more opportunities the Grenadians will have to extend the advantage. 53-46, 7 the difference. Grenada in possession. Calmly building their attacks. That touch came off Kiwana Charles at goalkeep. The Grenadians won't mind once they maintain possession, which they do. Brown will go for the shot. She's not missing a beat. 54-46. 8 the difference. Center pass St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Turnover St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And another Grenadian player down. This time it's John, the captain, Jamie John. Bonded over. All the Vincentians are certainly making it a fight. Francis is getting ready to come on at center, replacing John. Is that the crowd disapproving?
Yes, they know that Jamie John is really an experienced player. She can control that midcourt. So to see her leave the court, it's not something that they want at this time.
Approaching 3 minutes into this final quarter. Grenada in control. Cato continuing to be superb tonight. 55-46, 9 the difference. And the Grenadians can make it 10 here. St. Vincent and the Grenadines rattled. And maybe they have been bailed out there, because that could have been the end of the match. But now they have a chance to score back-to-back goals and stay alive. There is Davis arriving. Davis shoots. Davis scores. She hasn't missed a beat from shooting. John is ready to come back onto the court. The approval comes from the fans. And Francis has gotten her 30 seconds of fame. (55-47), 8 the difference. Grenada's possession. No, St. Vincent's possession. Here's Davis. Thought for a second she would have gone one time. Dangerous little pass. Brown got a hand onto it.
Yeah. I thought she was lobbing it into Frederick at that time.
And Deshawn gets the lob into Frederick. 55-48, 7 the difference. Center pass in Vincent and the Grenadines. Can they create a little bit of pressure here by scoring this one? No. That pass brilliantly read. Miller has had a couple of suspect passes in my opinion, and that was another one. Here is Selena Brown for Cato. Cato will shoot from distance. That's confidence. That's belief. That's another terrific goal. And the type of moment that could be a match decider. Here she is again. Is that the moment that seals it for the Spice Girls?
Yes, I think that Cato is going the way she's going right now, and the turnovers from St. Vincent. St. Vincent has lost their momentum.
It's only 5 minutes into the final quarter, but the Spice Girls are looking good for the win here. What a performance. What a performance. Here's Timmy again. The difference is 10. And surely there is no way back for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Selena Brown. Wow. Goes long. Oh, lovely ball from Quao. Frederick misses first time, but will get an opportunity to retake, and she scores 59-49. The difference remains at 10. 9 minutes to go. St. Vincent and the Grenadines will get the turnover, but they have to make it count. And the problem for them is that they are so far behind that they will always feel the need to force the game, force passes.
Yeah, so you can look for all those long passes going quickly into Frederick just to see how many goals they can get quickly. But it's a long way up that hill for them right now.
Grenada felt that last night against St. Lucia. They rallied at the end. There's another dangerous cross-court ball. And this time the Vincentians are lucky to regain possession and find Frederick, who puts it away. 59-51. But with those passes, you're always giving the defenders an opportunity to steal. John working. Cato works that play very well again. 60-51, 9 the difference. 60-52 is the official score. So 8 the difference. Oh, there, oh, 14 for SVG. And they need every bit of it. Frederick scores 60-53. Center pass. Grenada. Oh yes, the Vincentians win the ball and score quickly. 60-54, they'll have the center pass. They'll continue to force it. That pass into Frederick wasn't there, so they have to work their way forward. Miller. Davis. Up for Frederick. Frederick won't miss from this range.
Yes, that's her comfort spot. She's a good shooter, and she's right under the pole, so she's expected to make that one.
They are within 5 now. Maybe it's not over yet. Just like that, the Vincentians make a run. They are putting on pressure. Oh, that's won by Charles. That's brilliantly done. Impressive pressure put on in the midcourt by Quo as well, that I think led to that pass not being as good. And St. Vincent and the Grenadines have Marian Frederick on the turf. But now she gets the lob. She shoots, she scores. 60-56. Stacey, it's not over.
It's not over. The Vincentians are trying to play it quickly and get it up to Frederick just to see how much they can score.
This is good defending now from Grenada. But Davis has been shooting marvelously.
They're within 3, Ricardo.
We have a match. 5 minutes to go in the contest, and Grenada's lead is down to 3. Oh, that's a wayward ball, and Keita can't pull it in.
Just about 4.5 minutes remaining, Ricardo.
Oh, the Vincentians make an error of their own. That is exactly what they didn't want. What an opportunity for them to get it within 2 and then 1, because they would have had the center pass. Now the Vincentians have to work all over again. John is down. She's back up. Oh, what a game. What a game. Yes, Cato is in good position this time. Brown will lob this one into her, or will she go for the shot? Yeah, she lobs it into her. That's an important goal for Grenada.
That's a safer play. Cato is accurate under the post, so you don't want to take any risk right now. All goals are important.
Into Frederick. Good ball from DeShong that time. 58-61. 3 the difference. 11:21 gone in the final quarter. And it will get pretty physical from here as well, because both teams will put everything on the line. The Grenadians have the lead. They know they just need to take care of the ball and find Letitia, Timmy, Cato. 62-58. You get the feeling that one intercept for Grenada could do it from here. But if the Vincentians continue to score and they can get an intercept, it will make it extremely interesting in the last 3 minutes of the contest. Frederick puts up another one and she scores. 3 the difference. Center pass for Grenada. They can't afford a mistake here. Neither team can really. The contacts piling up from the Vincentians. Cato misses, but it's impossible to get a rebound off her. 63-59. Have the Vincentians left it too late? The long ball is dangerous, but it's well taken by Frederick. 63-60. 3 the difference. 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the contest. Ball into Cato. She's away from the target. Will try to work her way closer. She does work her way closer. Misses, but gets the contact. She'll shoot and score. 64-60. 1 minute 50 to go by my clock. St. Vincent and the Grenadines have it all to do. Those long balls will continue to go into Marian Frederick. They have to get an intercept here, SVG, if they are to have a chance. They have to try and win the ball here.
They have to get this ball and the next ball and the next ball.
If Grenada score this, I think you can count it done. Oh, it's overcooked. The pressure tells. The pressure tells. Just over a minute to go. Whatever they're doing, the Vincentians have to do it quickly.
Yeah, they have to be very quick on the ball. Not making any mistakes, but very quick to get that ball down.
Good defending from Grenada. making it difficult to get that ball into the circle. They finally do now. Marian Frederick settles herself, shoots and scores. 62, 64. It will be St. Vincent and the Grenadines center pass. We're into the final minute of the contest. Grenada lead by 2. Shalissa Davis, can she get it to her co-captain Marian Frederick? She can. Frederick will have a chance to shoot. Gets it into Davis. Davis looks up, shoots and scores. The difference is 1, and it is center pass Grenada. About 30 seconds, give or take, to go. Grenada's possession.
They just need to play it around. Just play it around.
Listen to the crowd. They know time is running down. They're celebrating. The final whistle hasn't gone yet, though. It goes now, does it? Yes, it does. Grenada beats St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Pandemonium at Tanteen. The champions have been shocked. What a game. What a game. Like the champions they are, the Vincentians came at the end. But Grenada held on. They held strong. They're celebrating as if they are the champions. That's because that win feels like a championship win, even though it's Grenada who will leave Tanteen with the trophy for a second consecutive year. What a match, Stacey.
Oh my gosh, this was definitely a championship game. This is a game that we have always been looking forward to. Had Grenada played this way throughout the entire competition, they would not just be celebrating this game, but celebrating a championship. But they've found their rhythm at the end, and the supporters should be glad just the same, because they have gotten a good matchup.
They saved a complete performance for the very last one. They have been patchy and inconsistent throughout the duration of the tournament, but not tonight. The urgency was there from the opening whistle, and you can see and feel the passion. It is a match of significant repercussions for both teams, but it's Grenada's night. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, let us not forget, are the champions. They have the trophy, but they will be bitterly disappointed not to win tonight. They'll have to assess what went wrong, why it took so long for them to make a serious run, but they'll still be leaving as the champions for a second consecutive year.
Yes, St. Vincent should still be proud of themselves, but somewhere along the line, they never got it fully together how they are known to. I think that the defensive end, for some reason, Charles could not adjust her play to try in any way to force Kato to shoot from afar and probably try to get the rebound. There are 1 and 2 times she was able to do it, but the consistency in doing it was not there. So on the defensive end, St. Vincent definitely wasn't going so well. The midcourt was okay. The shooting was always strong. But sometimes those simple passes, those simple mistakes are what would cost you the game. And it happened tonight.
The performance from Letitia Timikato tonight was exceptional. We haven't seen anything like that from her this tournament. And that's not to say she hasn't been good. But she was another level tonight. And if ever we forgot the quality of Letitia Timikato, she gave us a reminder this evening.
Yes, what you saw this evening is the Kato everyone knows about. I mean, everybody has been talking about how she's been playing because she's heavily strapped at the knees, so we understand her mobility was not as how it is tonight, what we've seen in the other games. But tonight she was running for those balls. She was going when there were overpasses just to see if she can save it for her team. And that's what it's all about. It's the final game. You let it all out on the court. There's no sense in reserving anything. There's no game tomorrow. So you fight till the end right now. And Grenada did that.
Does she return next year, Letitia Cato? Or is this the end of the road?
It would be good if she could. However, she would have to assess for herself how it is if she can. It does take a toll. I'm sure that there are things that she may have to do from her personal end as it relates to her knees. But let's see what happens.
Well, it's the type of performance that most sportsmen and women would love to leave the arena with. Letitia Cato produced a legendary effort tonight, and if she never ever returns to play for Grenada again, this one will be remembered for a long time, how they overturned the champions on home court.
Grenada must definitely be proud. They got a real match tonight, and you can see what also was the team. They didn't let up. They carried it straight through 60 minutes. Every time St. Vincent came close, they went back and they pressured more.
You can see what it means to them. It means everything to them. They are not the champions, but it sure feels like it at the moment. In fact, they could be third, even with tonight's win. Wow.
It's now a toss-up between them and St. Lucia, I think, for the second and third place. So, might be a repeat in the lineup for last year. St. Vincent first, Grenada second, St. Lucia third.
The fans are dancing. They really enjoy that. Wow, what a night. They're soaking it all in. And why not? The moment is massive for them. Natasha Baptiste is the coach of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines team. We'll be catching up with her. Let's talk to Natasha Baptiste, the coach of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines team. Your immediate reactions to this?
Well, my immediate reaction is Netball was the winner tonight. It was a good game. Both teams knew what was on the line, and they went and they played hard. Yes, you know, we wanted to be undefeated in the tournament, but kudos to Grenada. They brought their A game, and they ended up winning this match.
Assess your teams because the games were really good. But where do you think you were not as good as you could have been?
We weren't disciplined enough. We had too many turnovers, and that's something that we have to go back to the drawing board to get our team to realize even if there is a turnover, you still have to go until we get it down to the circle to convert.
About how you were able to handle Letitia Cato tonight, because I thought she was superb, easily her best game of the tournament.
Well, the thing is, once the ball gets over to her, it's not possible to stop it. So we had to do the stop in the midcourt, and we didn't do that as well as we should have.
Does this defeat take anything away from the campaign that you've had here in Grenada?
Oh, nothing at all, because we had 2 goals in mind: come here, return home as champions, and also to come up against one of our fiercest rivals, Barbados. And we did that well, because we are still going home as champions, just not undefeated.
I have to ask you this one. Was there any sort of complacency coming into tonight because you'd already won the title?
Well, we tried to ensure that mentally we didn't take it for granted, but it could have. It could have. But I know my girls been going through this tournament. It has been a very tough tournament, both physically and mentally. And I'm proud of my girls. They dug deep, they give it their all. And, you know, when we turn around, we saw our Minister of Sport behind us. And that in itself says a lot to us that, you know, our team is being supported heavily.
Let's talk about you are first to successfully defend this title. You've won 3 out of the 5 times now that this competition has been held since 2019. How significant is it for Vincent and the Grenadines netball?
Well, we have been on an upward trajectory as it pertains to netball in St. Vincent. We have been putting some things in place, not just for the players, but also for officiating and all of that. And, you know, defending the title says a lot. It means that we understand what it takes and what is required to defend the title.
And the World Cup is in a couple of years. Based on what you have seen here, certainly over the last 2 or 3 years, do you feel you are on course to be ready for when the qualifiers come around in a couple of years?
Definitely. The team that we have that has been working with the young ladies have already put together a plan for preparation for the qualifiers. So it doesn't stop here. All the girls will get is a break, and then we are back at it again, because it takes good preparation, long, structured preparation to deliver what we delivered in this tournament.
Oh, Natasha, congratulations on being champions again. Tough luck tonight, but you were brilliant throughout the course of the tournament.
Thank you.
Natasha Baptiste, the head coach of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines team. The Grenadians jubilant, and why not? Let's get a word in with Nadine Lett, the manager of this Grenada team. Nadine, what a performance tonight. First of all, what does this mean to this Grenadian unit? What does this mean to the Spice Girls?
It was a prideful moment for them, you know. We had that loss against St. Lucia last night, and we were in low spirits. So coming and beating a team that won all of their games throughout the tournament, that is a real prideful moment for Grenada.
What did you say to the girls in the build-up to this match for their performance to turn around so dramatically, not just from what we saw last night, but from what we've seen for the duration of this tournament?
We needed to get our mindsets right, to dig deep, to want to win, and that is what the girls came out here and showed today.
Talk to me about what you did out there tactically tonight, because it really was a fantastic performance. Assess how you were able to turn over this Vincentian team.
So our game plan was 1 quarter at a time, 1 center pass at a time. Score all of our center passes and just steal one and theirs. 1 at a time, 1 at a time. Patience was the name of the game, possession was the name of the game, and we did that, and that is what caused us to be victorious.
How much does this win take away the sting of not winning the title?
It doesn't, because we really believe we had that in the bag. But it kind of cushioned it. It kind of cushioned this thing for us.
And where does Grenada netball go from here?
We keep on preparing. We take a break for now, and then we come back again fresh from January next year and start back training for this tournament again.
A quick word on Lucia Cato, because I thought she was magnificent. A quick word on Lucia Cato, because I thought she was magnificent tonight. I thought her best game of the tournament, and the type of mobility she showed out there tonight we had not seen for the past week.
Yes, she was just excellent indeed. Superb playing, positioning well, and just receiving that ball, very intentional with the way she positioned and so on, and that is what caused us to be victorious.
Does she return in January with the rest of the team?
God's will, yes.
All the best. Congratulations on tonight's win.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Nadine, the manager of the Grenada team, the Spice Girls, they get a massive win tonight. We're speaking with Dr. Oronda Brewster, Minister of Sports for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Dr. Brewster, first of all, this was a fantastic occasion and a fantastic match. St. Vincent and the Grenadines came out on the losing end, but how did you enjoy that final match of the tournament?
Well, it was a very competitive match from the inception. I journeyed all the way from St. Vincent to take in especially this match because I wanted to see Grenada and St. Vincent. It's been that